Please, God.
This is God.
My turn.
Keeps getting better.
How many more bones will you crush?
Now I'm the bad guy.
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
Hello, and welcome back to Bad Boy Biopsy. And today I'm looking at that one guy from the Will Smith song, Freddy Krueger. Some people say this sleep demon is one of the best villains to ever do it, but today I'm breaking him down to find out just how good of a villain he really is. Is he overrated, or is he not overrated? Let's break him down and find out.
Hey, Nancy. No running in the hallway.
You know what I love? Ice cream. You know what I hate? Child serial killers. And you should too. Today's resident child killer is none other than Fred Krueger, a man who kills kids with a bladed glove in the town of Springwood, Ohio. Taking kids to a boiler room before killing them, Fred is a psycho who's racked up over 20 kills on the kill count before the movie even starts. Since we never got the chance to meet these poor souls on camera, I can't include them on the count. Don't get mad at me, man. Them's just the rules. Freddy ain't that good though, because eventually he gets caught by the cops. Freddy, my man, you ain't that slick. You'd think he'd get the death penalty, life in prison, or a lifetime marathon of his reboot, but instead, what does Freddy get? Nothing. He gets his freedom. Freddy, I apologize. You are indeed that slick. Because of a technicality where his search warrant wasn't signed correctly, Freddy ends up walking out as a very underrated movie from last year. But Freddy though, you ain't that slick, man. Seeking justice on the dude killing their kids, a bunch of parents team up and go out to kill Freddy by trapping him in a boiler room and setting it on fire. Freddy's body gets extra crispy, but he's not really dead. Like, he's dead, but he's also not. With his spirit living on through the dreams of those in the city, Freddy is able to haunt them in their sleep, preying upon them as his newest group of victims. Also, there's the stuff where he's empowered by a bunch of dream demons. So, Freddy, you are that slick? Freddy's motive is simple because he's just out here trying to kill people. It's not one we get a lot of reason behind, but honestly, I think that's fine. While some serial killer type villains need a backstory as to why they kill or explains why they're so messed up, some people are just evil, and I think Freddy falls into that camp. I'm not going to get all pissed about it because it's not like we don't get an origin for him, but for an old school slasher like this one, I think his basic motive works fine.
Nancy, help me, please. Save me from
Freddy.
Jason, Mikey Man, that guy from the J Films intro. All of these guys are as iconic, if not more so, than Freddy. I'm not gonna even start to say who's the best of all these ones, but if there's one thing everyone will agree on, it's that Freddy has the best personality of most of these slashers. For a character who does so much death, he has so much life. A lot of killers and slashers go for the quiet, intimidating, mysterious route, but no, Freddy just goes for like the stand-up comic route. The awesome part about Freddy though is that he can be a villain who cracks jokes, but he doesn't lose those angles of being intimidating and mysterious. The mystery around Freddy is maybe the best of all those OG killers because of the nature of how he kills. The idea of your dreams being the only place Freddy can get you, in my opinion, it automatically makes him the most interesting of all those killers. How did this being come into existence? What are the rules of his world? How the hell are we gonna kill him? There's so much intrigue around Freddy from the first moment we see him, and I think that's a large part of why the movie is so good. Besides that though, Freddy is so entertaining because of how not stale he is. What's the opposite of stale? Fresh? He cracks jokes, has tons of puns, sometimes too much, and legitimately seems to enjoy messing with the people he kills. He doesn't want to just kill them, he wants to torment them first and really make them suffer. I really think that if you look at a lot of other killers, they've gotten inspired from this. Pennywise, Vecna, you can see a lot of similarities among them and other killers. All of this is solidified by an incredible performance by Robert Englund, who plays this role to perfection. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, RDJ as Iron Man. This performance is just one of those ones that can't be topped, it can't be replicated, no matter how hard you try. I want to talk about the nature of Freddy's scenes too, because again, they're top notch. The fact that 90% of these scenes take place in dreams or involving someone being asleep, we get some of, if not, the most creative deaths in any slasher film. There's honestly too many to name, but they're always entertaining, and I especially love how practical most of the effects are. Another thing about the dreams is that it makes Freddy incredibly intimidating. Cause like, how can you kill him? You can't kill a dream. Have you seen Shark Boy and Lava Girl? You don't mess with dreams. As the series goes on, we get some more goofy Freddy moments and not so much scary ones, but even the bad kills always have a decent amount of creativity to them. The entire series has some ones that are legit disturbing, but for me, some of my favorite ones are mainly in the first film. The first film definitely leans more into the horror aspects than they do the comedy, and it makes them stand out a lot. Serial killers are evil, yeah duh, but Freddy kills kids, and he's working with the devil. Sounds pretty evil to me. I think the lack of backstory and motive makes Freddy even more evil. Jason and Leatherface kinda have reasons, but Freddy seems to just do it because he enjoys it. It makes him seem to be a very demented person. Speaking of enjoying it, Freddy just revels in all his kills, and he legit seems to be having a blast doing it. Doing evil is obviously horrible, but finding a twisted pleasure in it, it sets Freddy apart. There's no reasoning with him, there's no trying to understand him, he's just a pure force of evil. In my opinion, one of the purest evils in all of film.
I'm crazy after all.
Freddy doesn't have a big origin, but I kinda like that. It adds to his mystery, and with his only reason for killing seemingly just being for the heck of it, it makes him, I think, one of the scariest characters in horror. He's incredibly intimidating because of just how hard it is to stop him, and all of his dream sequences lead to some incredibly creative moments. Personality-wise, he gets a little goofy as the films go on, but in his initial appearance, he's able to perfectly balance being scary with a personality that makes him stand out. I think Freddy is one of the best slashers of all time, and with great reason, I'm going to give Freddy Krueger a 9.5. Thank you so much for watching. I make a new villain review every single Monday, so make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss a single one. Let me know what you think of Freddy in the comments below and who I should review next. Thanks again for watching. See you next time. That was my James A. Genius impression. Rate me 1 out of 10. I love you, James.